Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, bro.
How are you doing, Ali? Welcome to the LDM Show.
Thank you.
So today we want to talk about this show that you have online.
Yeah.
If you could explain what it is and your motivations behind it.
Okay, basically it's called the reALIty Show with Ali, obviously myself. Basically the whole aim of the show is to basically wake up the youth out there, because obviously I'm involved with Dawah,
Right.
but besides that I kind of got into this thing because I really had a passion, because I saw a lot of youth out there that are lost. You see sisters getting into these kind of relationships, and brothers as well. What it does is, what I realize is mentally destroying them. Some of them even go astray from the deen. Some end up going clubbing, drinking, because of the devastation of this relationship that has upon them. So I thought it's a really big problem within the ummah. It's out there as well. So I said it's something that it has to be touched upon. It's a big problem out there. So that's why I started off, to be honest.
Right. So can you give me an example of a particular issue that you would tackle, like within the episodes of your show?
Okay, for example, the first episode was, does he really love you? Yeah, in this episode we kind of give the analogy to the sisters specifically, how they fall for the traps, and we're telling them, look, if a man really loves you, he will take these approaches, if he wants to marry you. If he doesn't want to marry you and he's after certain things, this is what he will do. So on that first episode, we'll just basically give an insight of how does he really love you. So if a sister's watching out, then she's in a relationship or has a boyfriend, I wanted her brain to start ticking, thinking, okay, hold on a second. Yeah, like for example, my boyfriend says he loves me, but how does he love me? He takes me out, sweet talks me, gives me these false promises, but is that does he really love me in that manner? So what I'm trying to say is this: if he loves you, he will come and ask for your hand. It's simple as that. No ifs or no buts. So that's what the first episode was about. Second episode is how men really think. What I did was I give it obviously a perspective of obviously how we think. Some of us, not all of us. And basically, we went out there and we interviewed a couple of people,
right,
out in Westfield. So what we did was that, for example, we'd ask them certain questions like, if you saw a woman dressed up in revealing clothing,
yes,
how would you look at? Would you marry her? Kind of stuff. And they'll be like, oh, no. And then we'll ask the same question, like, if you saw the same woman dressed in modest clothing, how would you look at, etc., etc. So the reason I did this was because I thought to myself, okay, I can give nasiya. But some sisters out there, the youth might look at it and say, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, man. It's the same old talk. But when you go out there and interview men and they give their perspective live, then if you reject me, are you going to reject what the person's saying?
Right.
So this had a big impact. So basically that's what that was about. And the third one is Shaitan's good deed. It's basically of a sister that basically ends up wanting to do a good deed by dropping a colleague home, which is a guy, and it escalates to a thing where, for example, it leads to other stuff. So that's why I call that the Shaitan's good deed, because he whispers for you to like, oh, just drop him home. And that's what it was. And the fourth episode is coming next week, which is I Want a Pious Wife. And this one is obviously we all want a pious wife, but the topic is not that. The topic is basically men going out there, sleeping around with girls. But when it comes down to marrying, they're like, I want a woman that's untouched. So we're showing the hypocrisy out there. So that's what it's about, really, to be honest.
Wow, so that's really insightful.
Yes.
So it gives an insight into how brothers who do not have the correct intention towards women, how they actually treat the woman, and it's insightful for the women to see exactly how the mind of a man thinks.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Something, that this is not really discussed out there in society. And we see a lot of problems. So give me an example of some of the problems that people are not aware of, like if they go down the wrong path.
For example, what they're not aware of is basically free mixing. That's one of the problems. Or for example, saying, I'm going to have an episode of saying, oh, he's just a friend. Sisters like, oh, he's just a friend. I see him. There was a study done that, they kind of like did some kind of study. And the woman thinks, okay, if she has a male friend, she doesn't see him like that. She sees him as a friend. But whereas the man is like, oh, she probably likes me. Maybe I can do that. So what it is, in the man's psychology, he's like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put that in us. We have that kind of attraction.
Yes.
So that's one of the problems. And to be honest, the main issue is sisters are so naive. They are so naive that I had to do this show, because I had to be real with them, because they fall for simple, sweet words. I get sometimes like some sisters message and say, oh, this is what happened, and it's ridiculous, man, over some sweet words or something like that. Like for example, I'm gonna marry you, I promise you, give me time, and the guy ends up committing zina, and the sister falls in this trap. So yeah.
So this is really important. I think what it boils down to, and I think we addressed this on the LDM show we did last week, which was on Valentine's Day, is that we're beings of love, right?
Yes.
We're all looking for love, and we have that void that we want to fulfill.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong in loving the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Of course not.
But what we first say is first establish a loving creation, a relationship with the Creator alone first.
Yes.
And once you do that, and you go towards guidance, then it will show you how to have a loving relationship between its creation.
Exactly.
I think this is the problem. You know, sisters out there, they're looking for someone to love them.
Exactly.
You know, they're trying to beautify themselves. So talk a bit about how Islam provides the solution.
To be honest, what it is, like some sisters out there or brothers, they think Islam is saying you can't have this, you can't love no one. Loving is wrong. It's not saying that. It's telling you do it in a right way, in a correct manner, which will protect you. You know, basically, there was a sister which kind of sent me a message, and she was like, "Oh, I've had enough. I'm going to take my hijab off." And I was like, "Sister, why? You know, why are you going to do that?" And she's like, "Since I wore it, I don't get like no one wants to marry me," kind of stuff. Yeah. And I was like, "Look, hold on a second." I said, "You're right. Nobody approaches you. You know why? Because they see that hijab on you. They see that as a protection. They're like, okay, I don't think we can get anything from her. So they back off. You should be happy that this is a protection, you know." And she was like, "No, I made my mind up. I'm going to take it off." And blah, blah. She said to me that she was at a wedding, and at this wedding she was wearing a hijab, and basically this guy got interested in her, and this guy kind of got in contact with her family and wanted to get married or something like that. And this sister was willing to take her hijab off. So basically, I just told her, "Look, sister, yeah, look, if this guy really loves you, should love you with a hijab." Do you get what I'm trying to say? I said, message him and say, "Look, yeah, I've got the hijab, I'm not willing to take it off for no one." She did that, and the guy started going violent, started swearing at her, started saying, "I will do this to you, I will do that to you." So do you see how the true character comes out?
Yes.
So this is what my whole aim is about with the reality show, to be honest.
Alhamdulillah.
Just to not expose all men, but to give them the reality. That's what's called a reality
insight.
Show. Yeah.
What's the show called?
The reALIty.
The reALIty.
Part 1, 2 and 3. You can watch it on Muslim Youth Movement, but the 4th one I've moved it to my channel.
Your channel.
So it's called the Dawah project. You can watch it from there, and the links go to the other.
Inshallah, we'll put the links into our show.
Inshallah.
Jazakallah khairan, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much.
So, Brother Ali, so what are we talking about today? What are we going to be discussing on the show today?
Basically, today on the show, basically we're going to talk